Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Satan and Coffee. I hope everyone is having a great week. Oh, a second. My camera is not focusing because my camera doesn't like to do its job, apparently. Hope everyone's doing well. Uh, Good to see everybody. It is that time of week. Sorry, my hand is on the camera right now because I'm trying to get it to focus on my damn face. Um, there we go. There we go. Nice and focused. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. It is October 1st. So before we get into the primary topic of this evening, it is officially spooky season. So I don't know how many of you out there are like me and are obsessed with Halloween. But I most definitely am, which is kind of why I opted for some Red Zed this morning for the intro music. It's got this album in particular has some like hardcore kind of like 90s rap metal kind of vibes to it. Um, and it's an entire album about Satanism and witches and black magic. So, you know, fun stuff, right? Uh, so yeah, definitely. It is definitely spooky season. I'm excited for that. If you guys didn't catch my reel or my story on Instagram yesterday, I finally have been able to break out the jack-o'-lantern tea towels without upsetting Dyra. Uh, so those are officially out and about in the kitchen. You've been picking up year-round decorations for your office. No light. Yeah, right. Like, I mean, the thing is like, unfortunately, I mean, the last year or so, a little bit more, I've not been able to have like an office. I'm kind of in the dining room. Uh, right, right. You see October 1st, and you're like, yes. And then that kind of carries on throughout the rest of the year. Like Christmas is like, what? Christmas? What's Christmas? Fuck Christmas. Uh, um, I in particular, I enjoy having a Halloween themed Christmas. So black tree, orange and purple decorations. That's my vibe. Um, so where did the trophy emoji come from? I have no idea, but I mean, it works, I suppose. So yeah, so very excited about it finally being officially spooky season. Um, and Dyra and I are actually rewatching Sabrina on Netflix. We just finished. We finished Wednesday, like a couple weeks ago or a week ago. And it's too soon to rewatch the first season of that. So we're going into Sabrina. So we're doing like, we're going to be doing like a Sabrina kind of marathon kind of thing. And just kind of watch that throughout the month because it fits. It just does. Samael, welcome, 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 welcome. Sorry, I'm just hearing chat notifications go off. I'm like, what is going on over there? Um, right? Like, yeah, Sabrina's fucking. Like, it's awesome, and it's so much better than Sabrina the Teen. I don't know if any of you are old enough to know Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but I watched that as a kid growing up back in the late '90s, which was very loosely based off of the Archie comics Sabrina. Um, I mean, I think it was based off of it in name alone because, like, as far as the content was concerned, they completely avoided the satanic angle. And anybody that's actually read the Archie comic, Sabrina, uh, it's much darker than Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and it's darker still to Sabrina, but Sabrina is significantly closer in theme. Back to 17. Oh, nice, 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 nice. That sounds like it would be fun. I remember someone watching a series on Netflix called Sabrina, but I think it's different. I don't know. Yes, it's Sabrina. Sabrina is actually it's a good show. They did well with it. They did well with it. Um, so what we're going to be talking about today, is kind of something I think we kind of have to talk about because I don't think enough people are talking about it. And look, speak of the devil, and so shall she appear. I mean, she's on the couch, so it's not like she's in the ether somewhere. But, um, uh, so what we're going to be talking about this morning, uh, just because I think we kind of have to, is bro, the fucking government is shutting down again. Like, what the fuck is that? And this is definitely. I promise there's going to be an occult tie in here. But like, why can't these fuckers get along? Like, really? Like, why? Why is this? Why is this a thing? Like, I don't understand why this is a thing. Like, why they have to? Because the only people that suffer from this, like, is like the little guy. The little guy is the one that suffers with this shit. Like the government itself isn't suffering, right? With a government shutdown. So, like, what? I don't understand what's going on here, right? So, Congress once again is fighting over a federal spending bill. The House and the Senate can't agree. Big surprise, right? And so now non-essential government services shut down. You have politics fatigue. Well, that's your own fault, though. Because you sit there like all day, like bombarding yourself with politics. Still get aid too when it shuts down. Wait for regular people. Right? Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it. It just kind of irritates me. And here's another thing that irritates me about this shit. So I watched this video the other day, switching it up a little bit. So I can't remember who the fuck it was. I think it was like Sydney Watson or something like that. But like people on the right are like celebrating like people leaving the left. Like I showed like this kind of like montage of like, oh yeah, I'm leaving the left. I'm leaving the left. And unpopular opinion, because I don't subscribe to really right or left politics. I really don't. But I don't think that the calmer heads on the left should be leaving the left. I don't think. I don't think they should. I think they should stay on the left. And it's not like a bad thing, right? But it's like if cooler heads that are on the left leave the left and they go independent or they go Republican or whatever, that leaves people that are considered by the majority to be kind of like far left. And that doesn't get anyone anywhere because, especially if you think about it, like the United States is stuck in a two-party system. Sucks, but it is what it is, right? And so what the fuck do people think is going to happen if the only thing we have is the right? Like, do people have like this idea in their head that, you know, exactly. Exactly. Leaving would make the other side an echo chamber. And what do you think is going to happen with, like, if the right takes over completely? Like, Christian nationalism is not a good thing, people. Right? And that's the direction these fuckers are going. Right? That's the direction they're going. Right? Everything we're going to fall, it's going to be like the 90s again, but worse. Right? You know, it's this whole, there needs to be balance. Like, there needs to be balance in everything. You know, and especially fucking politics. Like, there needs to be kind of like a back and forth. There needs to be a discussion that happens. But you can't have a discussion, you know. I mean, well, that's the thing. Mystic said something that was very true when it comes to the idea of a satanic panic with this. If we go full Christian nationalists in the US government, which I really fucking hope we don't. I really hope we don't. Like, I mean, I'm willing to do magic on that shit. Like, I really am. Like, I am willing to do ritual on that shit. That is how much, like, I don't want that to happen. Because it's not going to be a panic. It's going to be a slaughter. Just aim to be as politically and ideologically confusing as possible so no one knows where they stand. We're above it. Baby, do you want to be on the show? she is backseat co-hosting right now. We all float, right? Exactly. Which I'm not complaining, by the way, but, you know, if you're going to talk to me, like, you know, at least let the people hear you. Yeah, it does. It turns into one big circle jerk, you know? And so the thing is like, I don't think it's a good idea that these people that are like, oh, I'm done with the Democrats, I'm leaving the left. No, don't leave the left. Stay there. We need you there. Like, be there. Because there does need to be conversation in each individual side, right? So there's like, so if you have right and left, and then inside of each one, you have one that leans a little bit further this way, one that's a little further this way, then the middle. Those three kind of like pie chart points are kind of really fucking necessary in each side, right? And it creates conversation in the side to be able to have a better conversation with the other side, if this is making any sense whatsoever. So yeah, it's scary. It's scary to sit there and see. It's like, well, fuck, like, you know, like we're on our way. I think we are well on our way to seeing Christian nationalism take over the government, and it's a scary fucking concept, because I don't think it's gonna be, ooh, squeaky voice, woo-hoo-hoo. Fuck, that came from. I don't think it's gonna be a satanic panic. I think it's just gonna be like almost just like, you know, it'll become illegal to be a Satanist, and that's just ridiculous, you know, because I don't know. I just see that's where it's going. That's where it's going. And I know this is a shitty topic. This is a really shitty topic to be talking about, you know, when it comes to, you know, spooky season and coming into spooky season. I really wanted to keep this one kind of fun and lighthearted, but it's a little hard to do that with the current state of things. It's kind of hard to keep it, you know, entertaining and fun and blasphemous like I usually do. Um, but yeah, it's just, I just don't see things working out really well. So anyway, so the non-essential government services to shut down are like national parks, museums, IRS processing, which I'm not really too upset about that part of it. Like, unless of course that's like IRS processing to get people their checks, but we're still going to check to see if you owe us money. Passport delays, like getting your passport's going to be fucked up, which is going to suck. You know, not the museums. I mean, does anybody actually even go to museums anymore? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's the last time I went to a museum was in England, and that's because you took me. It was an art museum, right? The, you took me to the what now? Oh, okay. The Tate. Okay, so I thought she said she took me to the taint. I was like, wait, what? um. So yeah, that was that. It's an art gallery. Okay, so it's not really a museum. It's an art gallery, but it was kind of fun. There's some interesting stuff in there. Um, right. So essential services will continue. So essential services fall under military, border patrol, social security checks. Right. But workers may have to show up without pay until the shutdown ends. This is another thing. How do you expect people to show up and go to work and not get paid? Go to the taint and see the moaning Lisa. That's fucking great. Oh, there's an art piece in there somewhere. So here's the absurdity with this, right? When the government, the beast, when it collapses for a few weeks, the poor still starve and the rich still feast. The rich are the rich are still being the rich, and the poor are still starving, right? And the faithful still think their God is in control, right? Like, you know, the Christian nationals, right? They still think God is running everything. But I mean, who ends up really suffering? It's the workers, right? The janitor at the Pentagon, not the general, right? The clerk at the DMV, not the senator, right? Don't start. Don't start. Uh, um. So you know, those are the people that end up suffering. Um. And here's the thing: shutdowns aren't like inherent chaos. They're theater. It really is. It really is theater. It's fear mongering at like the highest level, right? It is government fear mongering, is what it is. Like, make no mistake about it. Okay, it is planned, scheduled, and executed to seed a certain response. It really is. Okay. Um, it's to remind you that you are nothing but a piece of the machine. You're nothing but a cog, right? Right. They flip the switch off, they flip the switch back on, and when they switch it back on, we all crawl back grateful for the machine to devour us whole again, right? And you know, for the Satanist and Luciferian, this is kind of like this can be like a revelation, right? Every empire runs on blood, and when the machine halts, you're able to kind of see the gears moving for what they are, right? And that glimpse is worth more than their promises of order. You want to watch The Wall again? Oh, wait. The Wall. Like Pink Floyd? The Wall? Apparently a cat took a shit and now Dyra's like, oh, like she's dying. Oh, and it was Bunny. Of course it was Bunny. But Bunny, we have a cat named Bunny. And when she uses the litter box, she is incapable of covering her shit. Like, she scratches everything but the litter. She will scratch the litter tray. She will scratch the wall. She will scratch the air. She'll scratch the floor on the outside of the litter tray. She will not scratch the litter. The cup and she will go for like a full 20 minutes and not understand why it still stinks. I don't know. I don't know if you guys needed to know that, but that's what's happening right now. Because you don't want to get her paws dirty. Who wants to touch their own shit? I mean, true. I mean, right? No, it does stink. It's horrible. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of like my take on the shutdown. Now, shutdowns are just one form of state fear. Churches weaponize eternal damnation. Governments weaponize financial ruin. Both demand your obedience in exchange for safety. And this is like a running theme with society, right? It's and I've always said this, and for some reason people continually fucking disagree with me. And it's like, if to me it's so obvious that our society runs almost purely off of fear, right? And things happen, or things are set in place to happen to remind you why you need to be afraid. Like, I mean, if you think about it, like, you had Pearl Harbor, right, which interjected us into World War II, which we had previously said we wanted no part of. 9/11, interjected us into a war with the Middle East, which at the time we said we wanted no part of. So it's just kind of like there's always something happening. Government shutdowns are like a regular thing. Like, I think I've seen maybe 3 or 4 of these fucking things happen, and always like the dollar fucking dips. Like, it just crashes because of the shutdown, especially depending on how long the shutdown lasts. Dictates how far the dollar is just going to like dive into the fucking ground. And that's the thing, right? What you say, you see those big words on a headline, right? Government shutdown. You're like, oh shit. Doesn't really fucking mean anything. Like, I mean, life keeps going, right? It's just government workers get fucked. Like the little guy gets fucked like they always do. Same thing with a church. Church does the same thing, right? Repent or go to hell, right? And again, I mean, that goes right down into, what I talked about before. It's like, God has your family at ransom in heaven or wherever, and demands obedience, for you to see them again. And then the church uses it as well to say, well, even if you don't have family and you're not obedient, you don't fall to your knees, and beg for forgiveness for fucking breathing, then you're going to go to hell and suffer because that's what you deserve. Like, right. And that's the whole idea that happens, isn't it? Like, that constantly happens in society is that we deserve to suffer, don't we? Like, as people, that's our deserving line. That's what the rest of the world around us believes that we deserve, is we deserve suffering because we want to be ourselves, because we want to be individuals, because we want to believe something different, because we found something, not just we want to. And again, I don't think it's a matter of want. It's a matter of we found something that is different, that works for us. Right. And then the people on the outside are just like, no, you don't deserve that. That's not right. That's wrong. Right. I mean, it falls into like the comment that I made the other day about, people coming into my chats or leaving comments on my video and just, just throwing their fucking ideas around, like not even opinions, just like these accusations and absolutes of, how what I'm doing is just empty and I'm an angry person. And like everyone believes that we're just these miserable black fucking blobs that are rolling around in our own depression because we haven't found God or Jesus. And it's just kind of like, really? It's kind of ridiculous, but the entirety of society operates off of this. Fear fuels the machine. Like, I mean, think about the news cycle. When was the last time you saw any good news on the news? Like, I'm almost 40. I can't remember the last time I heard a good thing on the news. Okay, but even think about that. So she's talking about 7 people that are being charged for like something I can't talk about live. Um, hey, oh, we get demonetized. Um, but 7 people in England are being charged for crimes. So I mean, it's a good thing that they got caught, but at the end of the day, it's still not a good thing though, because it's like, hey, this shit exists. We, we got 7 people. There's more, but we got 7 of them. So it's still not even good news. Like it's like, and it's like there's an old meme that I remember seeing years ago about how the news works. And like there's a whole biker gang that like stops traffic and helps this old lady cross the street and stuff like that, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody thinks anything of it and doesn't make the news. Nobody gives a shit. But then the next scene, right? The next part, that same biker gang just like curb stomped the shit out of that old lady, and that's all over the news. And it's just like the news cycle is there to do one thing and one thing only. And if you think it's there to do anything else other than to perpetuate fear and keep you afraid and scared and locked into your own head, you're sadly mistaken. The news cycle is just there just to fucking scare the shit out of you even more. And like it just feels like it's just this perpetual motion of just negativity. It's like looking at the one thing that I've always loved about goth, being gothic, being, a witch, being a black magician, the thing that I love about being me. I mean, I don't necessarily want to project this onto other people, but this is how I think about things. And people would always kind of look at it like, for example, you look at my beanie, it says "Wake from Death," right? It's like, so people are just kind of sitting there, go, why are you so obsessed with death? And it's like, it's not being obsessed about death. Death is an inevitability in life. It's accepting it and playing with it, right? It's playing with the concept of it. It's making it something. It's looking at the romantic side of it. It's taking the understanding that this life is finite. I know that my death at some point is going to come. One day I'm going to die. So everything that I do here today, everything that I do in the rest of my life doesn't necessarily play a huge part maybe in everything that, is going to, and anything is going to change the world or anything, but it helps me understand that I need to enjoy every day, that I need to be a part of every day, right? That I need to be more in the moment with my life. And so that's one of the things that I love about being a goth and being, being a witch. I mean, because one of the things, like, especially when you become a black magician, I mean, you definitely start learning to kind of work with the death current. And, when you start working with the death current and stuff like that, you begin to understand things that maybe you wouldn't understand before. And so it's not an obsession with death. It's not an obsession with the negativity of it. It's an understanding that it's part of life, guys. Like it's going to happen. We don't like to think about it, but it's going to happen. And it doesn't mean that I have to sit there and I think about it on the daily. I'm not thinking about like when I'm going to die or how I'm going to die every single day. Like I don't do that. But there's a certain romanticization in the understanding of how this stuff works, right? And like the appreciation for the things that people are normally afraid of, right? And so I feel like even though people would look at me and think that I'm dark and negative, I honestly think I'm the complete opposite. I think I'm the complete opposite of what most people think I am, right? So continuing on with the fear as a currency of control, which is what we're kind of talking about right now, right? So hell versus fear of a paycheck not arriving is both manufactured scarcity. That's how society functions. Manufactured scarcity, right? It's how fashion brands become expensive. It's how you know, certain food types become more expensive and more sought after and more desired, right? It's how everything in society, especially capitalist society, functions. It functions in such this way because it creates scarcity and makes people want the thing that they think that they can't have all the time, right? That once it's gone, right? Being afraid of hell, happiness, life, it's scarce. So you want to bow down on your knees, obey, and go to heaven. Fear of your paycheck not arriving. You fall in line, right? You need to pay your bills. You need to eat, put clothes on your back, all these things. So it's just this perpetual fear, right? And it's kind of like being spooky season. I kind of look at America as like it's Halloween all year round in America because it's like they switch the masks up all the time. Like one week it's Freddy Krueger, and the next month it's a senator in a red tie. Like it's just constant perpetual change back and forth. Scare the shit out of you, give you the guise of order, which is how it works, right? So government shutdown is nothing more than theater happening to scare the shit out of us. That's all it is. But I did think it was something that needed to be talked about because I know that people are eventually going to be turning around and freaking out about this fucking thing. And I don't think that we should be freaking out about it. We just need to monitor. That's all. We need to, watch where it goes. But there's no need to start stockpiling shit, right? So the ritual of the shutdown. So imagine the shutdown as like a black mass of bureaucracy. Senators chanting over bills, invoking the demons of debt and deficit. And the offering is your taxes, right? The sacrifice, your time. Their God, power itself. That's how that works. That's how that breaks down, right? We can flip the script. If their altars fear, ours must be rebellion, refusal. Building our own networks, our own communities, our own altars outside the cathedral of state, which is one of the things I'm a big proponent of cryptocurrency, though I don't actively use it only because I feel like it's still too chaotic. It's still too all over the place because there is no internal regulation. And I'm not saying that the government should regulate it, but I think that we should create a regulating body for it so it's a little bit more stable. And yes, I mean, that still makes it political, but at least it's us that's in control of it, not them. Right? Because cryptocurrency does mean something. It does work. It is, it is a viable currency that is used widely. But I do think that a little bit of internal regulation from us could make it something that is more feasible to be used and outside of governmental bodies. And you want to see a government freak out, take away the government's control over money, they will flip shit. The equivalent of 18 pounds in cryptocurrency. Well, see, this is the thing, though. It's like I think the problem with cryptocurrency is people look at cryptocurrency as like an investment opportunity and not as an actual currency to use. And I think what would give cryptocurrency more power and more ability is if people looked at cryptocurrency more of like an actual currency to use to purchase goods than just something to throw real life money into in hopes to make more money. Right. So I think that that's something that, needs to change, because if we still keep using it because we're like, oh, I want to be a millionaire, so I'm going to put $100 into crypto and hopefully it'll turn into 10,000. It's like, just checked, it's actually 27. There you go. Rock on. Look at that. Moving on up in the world. So but I do think that cryptocurrency is a good concept. It's a good idea. I think it's very imperfect, and I think that it needs more focus. Like and it needs better regulation internally, right? So again, I know that this isn't a fun topic. I know talking about government shutdowns and the financials of the United States and all that shit's not fun. It's not. It's not, but it's something that's happening in the world. So I felt the necessity to kind of talk about it. Um, the point being, if you guys haven't picked up on it, isn't the government, but it's the necessity for us to stop falling victim to the fear mongering, because that's the only thing that exists in the world right now. At least that's it. It feels like that's the only thing that exists in the world. That's the only thing getting thrown into our faces perpetually, nonstop, is fear. Fear of everything. Fear of hell. Fear of financial instability. Fear of this. Fear of that. Fear of getting shot for your opinion. Fear of not being able to express an opinion. Everything is just fear. And we need to be able to have we need to be able to kind of like move past this. We need to get past the fear. We need to stop being afraid, because even the people, like some of the people that perpetrate these horrible, heinous acts, are perpetrating them from fear. If you think about it, that's what's happening. These acts are perpetrated from fear. Think of a career criminal. Why does a criminal become a criminal to begin with? Not everyone that's a criminal just wants to see the world burn, right? Not everybody's the fucking Joker. Most people that are criminals are criminals because they want to eat. It's just, right? They need shelter. They want to pay their rent. They want to put their kids in the school. They want to put food on the table, right? The way the economy's running, it's every day that's more and more difficult. It's like, a dollar will buy you a nickel's worth. And we're well aware of that. And the government doesn't give a shit because it's part of the plan. Right? Big government has always been a bad idea. And by no means of the imagination am I an anarchist or anything like that. I think the government has its role, but big government is dangerous. I mean, just look at the direction we're going right now. We are well on our way to seeing Christian nationalism fully taking over. I mean, they just passed a thing, I think, about letting kids pray in school. But here's the thing. It was targeted language, right? It's not saying that schools need to teach the Bible, which would be a bigger like, oh shit, but if you look at the language that was used, it was only about Christianity. They didn't say, the high school goth Satanist could perform a ritual in the bathroom if he wanted to, or in the lunchroom if he wanted to. They didn't say that the Muslims could, pray 5 times a day. They didn't say that. The only thing that was spoken about, the only thing that was covered were Christian kids. Christian children are allowed to pray in school. That's a dangerous precedent. Why is that a dangerous precedent? Because if you're not including every religion in that statement and giving specific examples of what is acceptable in a school setting, then you inevitably are going to run into a problem with teachers policing the side that they don't agree with. If you want to pray to God, you can pray to God, but you can't do a ritual. You can't pray to Satan. You can't pray to your God if your God's name is Allah. But if you want to pray to the Christian God, you can. If you want to have prayer circles and prayer groups in school, you can. It's very one-sided, and it sets a precedent. And the thing is like, I'm surprised that everybody kind of glazed over that. like it was something that was very glazed over, and I'm very, very immediately, like, I saw the problem with it. Right? Like, it's, there's a time and place for everything. And praying or any type of religious activity in a state school setting, I do not believe is the correct time or place, to partake in any religious activity. Let alone to have the government openly advocate for one-sided religious activity in school. Not to say that the school is going to teach the Bible or include God into the curriculum, but to allow children of one type of faith to practice that faith while in school, while excluding the others. It's a dangerous precedent. It truly is. It's a very dangerous precedent to set that. To have the President of the United States say that, Christian children can pray in school and completely exclude the fact that the United States is not a secular nation. The United States is not a Christian nation. Like, and this is the thing that, like, people get confused about on the right, I think, like the Christian nationals kind of get confused about, is just because the majority of people in the United States are Christian does not make the United States a Christian nation. What the majority of people believe in a country does not inherently make that country that religion, especially in a country like the United States, or, for example, like England or Canada. Right? Because the religion isn't like a core aspect of the politics, right? Like, the religion in and of itself. Like, the Constitution doesn't mention God. Like, I think it mentions it like once, right? Like, and it's more kind of like a higher power reference than like God, like Christian God. So the United States is a secular nation. It's not a Christian nation. It shouldn't be allowed. Texas will allow the 10 Commandments to be posted in the classroom. See, that I disagree with. I completely disagree with that. That's not something that should be left to the state to decide. Like, that's, because if you're going to do that, like, it's the same thing that, like, what the Satanic Temple, like, anyone that knows me knows that I'm not a fan of the Satanic Temple, never have been. I think they're too much into showboating and don't actually get enough change for the stupid shit that they do. Right? Like, there's, like, I feel like they try to be shocking, just like they're just pure shock value at this point. Like, they were working really, really well and doing really, really well with their idea and their concepts of, like, making a point about including everything because the United States is a secular nation. And then somewhere down the line, it got lost in translation. Right? Exactly. That's the thing, right? So, if you're going to have the 10 Commandments, then shouldn't we have, like, the 72 goetic demons and their sigils also listed right next to it? Isn't that only fair? It's this is what I'm talking about, this whole Christian nationalism thing. It's like, this is also why I don't choose a side. Because I think both sides have completely lost their fucking mind. Now, most people, like I said, I've said this 1,000 times, when most people hear my values and stuff like that, my base, not political values, like my base human values of what I believe is correct, what I believe is right. Morning, tree sap. Most people are probably going to think I'm conservative. Like that's or I mean, both Dyra and I have been called like Republican sympathizers. We've been called Nazis. We've been called fucking everything just because of like how our values, like when we talk about conservative traditional values, we talk about the nuclear family, we talk about the importance of having a father in the home, you know, and these are things that I constantly echo and repeat always and always and always and always. And because of these values and these ideas, people are like, oh, so you're that. And I say, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, well, what is wrong with you? You know, like the things I'm talking about are not fucking political. They're not. You know, they can be politicized, but they're not inherently political. But I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm a combination of everything, and I base my opinions on situation, circumstance, and available information. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Like, I've probably spent the last 2 weeks trying to think of something. It's like, what the fuck could I label myself so people understand like where my brain is at with this shit? And it doesn't exist. I got called a Nazi sympathizer about 6 hours ago. Fucking hell. You know, and the thing is like, I mean, I have seen, especially like the whole pro-Palestine thing, right? Now, for those that don't know, I have kind of opened up like my ideals to kind of supporting Gaza because of information that was provided to me about the intentions of the Israeli government and a statement that was made by the Israeli president. I don't know if is it a president or a prime minister over there? Prime minister. Okay. So the Israeli prime minister, so like a statement that was made by a public, I don't know if it was a public statement, but a statement that was recorded that was made by the Israeli prime minister about their intentions with Gaza. And so from that, you know, I support Gaza. Because the intentions from the Israeli government are fucking horrible. We were talking political, not spiritual, Curtis. What the fuck happened to you last Saturday? You're like, yeah, Saturday would be great. And I never heard from you. What the hell, man? So I do support Gaza because of that information. But at the same time, like my take has always been the same. It's like everybody just needs to stop killing each other. Like, can we just focus on that first? Can we just stop killing each other? Can we not worry about the side and just stop killing each other? Because when it comes to war, the only people that ever suffer, you know, the only people that ever suffer are Discord, man. Discord. Like, that's how we always contact each other. Discord. So the only people that ever suffer are the people that are not actually waging the war. Oh, I didn't even see that, man. I didn't see your email. I did not see your email, so I apologize. So those are the only people that ever suffer, is the people that aren't actually in the war, that aren't actually fighting the war. The generals don't suffer. The prime ministers and the presidents don't suffer. It's the people that just want to live their fucking lives. Those are the ones that suffer. So can we start with, can we not kill each other? Let's start from there. I think that's like the best place to start, I would say. Yeah, point is I've spent like the last 2 weeks trying to figure out a label that would help people understand like how I think about things, and it's just like there just isn't there isn't something out there. And what I've seen with the pro-Palestine stuff, like, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because, you know, Dyra mentioned like about 6 hours ago, she was called a Nazi sympathizer. But the thing is like, I've seen people, I don't know if you would call them far left, or I don't know if you specifically just call them like, you know, Palestinian, what pro-Palestinian embodiment. I don't know. But I have seen fuckers out there saying that like, oh, Hitler had the right idea. Right? Like about, you know, exterminating all the Jews. And I'm like, and these are the same people they're calling other people Nazis. And so like when I sit there and I look at like when politics are laid out like that and I look at it, I'm like, bro, like, are we really that blind to this shit? Like to how bad this shit is? Like, it's fucking crazy, man. That is just like I don't know if people like I understand how absolutely fucking insane that is. No, the biggest is accept that I am a member of the Island of Misfit Toys. Oh wow, that that was a Robin Williams movie, wasn't it? What? Really? Nice. And how much of that are they actually going to serve? Okay. Celebrated little girls back in Texas. So it's just, you know, I don't know. I don't know, guys. You know, I'm not saying that that's the whole of one side. I'm saying that's one group of people, right, that are doing that. Like, I don't think it's fair to say that that is how an entire side behaves. Like, that just doesn't make sense. To say that. But there are things that I've seen on both sides. Like, you got the Christian nationals, you've got, you know, the other side of things. And I'm just kind of like, we need to take a step back and be more objective to shit that's going on instead of taking shit so personally. And as far as like my political views, I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I refuse to align myself with Republicans. I refuse to align myself with Democrats. I'm not left or right. You know, I don't know what to call myself because the only thing I've ever been able to actually say is I'm politically homeless because I can't find anything that like fully encompasses the way that I think. And so I guess I will always be a centrist. You know, that's just my position. And I think, you know, being, you know, a Baphometic dedicant, the center ground I feel is like such an important place to uphold. And so I will always uphold that balance. I will always uphold that, you know, that middle ground. So thank you all for coming out and hanging out. You guys are fucking amazing. Hopefully you got something out of this one. I'm hoping Friday's show is going to be significantly less political because I do agree with Dyra. I am starting to get political fatigue here. Yeah, same. Can't. Sorry, I completely missed that. Yeah, like I can't excuse that. Like people that don't have anything to do with anything just because. Yeah, it's just like celebrating anyone that is innocent that suffers because of other people's stupidity. You know, it's just, or their inability to understand that somebody was not involved, you know? I don't know. But yeah, I am starting to get political fatigue. So the next shows are going to be a lot more fun. I think we're going to have a lot more fun coming up. We have, just so you guys are aware, so Altar of Darkness is going to be on Sunday. She goes by Hearst, man. Kind of a cool name. I dig it. So he's going to be on Sunday, where he's going to be talking about how he went from being a pastor to a satanic priest, right? Or a black magician. So that's going to be an interesting conversation to see that, because the Christians keep bringing on, like, you know, ex-Satanist and former occultist, now Christian, right? They keep bringing those on. So finally, I kind of got somebody. It's like, you know, former pastor becomes Satanist, you know? So that should be a fun little conversation to have on Sunday. And we will be having D.H. Throne on the show soon. We are in conversations currently. I'm very excited about that. And yeah, hopefully we'll, you know, maybe, you know, by the end of this year or some point in 2026, maybe we'll actually get co-editing on the show. That's my goal, is end of this year, beginning of next year, is to have co-editing on the show, which would probably inevitably mean the channel getting banned. But hey, you know, it's, you know, it is what it is. So with all that being said, thank you guys for being here. You guys are fucking amazing. You're the reason I do this every day that I do it. And as always, hell thy fucking self. See you in the next one. Peace the fuck out.